My name is Deneen White, and I want to welcome you to the Model and Actor Bootcamp VIP Ignite. Today is going to be absolutely an amazing day. This is going to be a life transformational weekend. But before I officially get started, there are some of you that are watching us on Facebook. There are some of you that are watching us on YouTube. I'm not sure what you're doing over there. You need to come join us here on Zoom, because this weekend we're going to have agents that are looking to discover people. You're going to have the opportunity to interact with people who are trained at the same studio as actors on Saturday Night Live. Is that okay? What? Okay. But in order for you to have that interaction, you need to be here on Zoom. So come on over here and join us on Zoom, y'all. Come on over. We all want you here. All right, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to VIPigniteSummit.com. Again, you're going to go to VIPigniteSummit.com. You're going to come join us here on Zoom. So I know I introduced myself to everyone, but let me introduce myself one more time now that we're live on the social networks. My name is Deneen White. I am the president of Talent Services for Truth Management, which is our mother agency. I am responsible for helping us to get some amazing talent here at Truth Management. We have a goal for 2024, and our goal is this. It seems pretty simple, but it's pretty crazy as well. We want to get the largest number of talent signed to major agencies that we ever had. And let me tell you something. We had some banner years over the last couple of years, but this year we want to do even better. So let me explain to you how our day is going to go, what this weekend is going to entail, and then we are going to get started. First of all, this is a 2-day event, not a 1-day event, a 2-day event. So everyone type 2 days in the comments. 2 days. We are going to be here for 2 days. What does that mean? That means we are here until Sunday when we're done. I have expectations of you. I expect you to be all in, but let me explain to you what being all in means. That means you're committing to being here for 2 days. That means you're committing to being on camera as much as possible. I see some people checking out from work. Thank you for being here. Please make sure you're still safe, okay? You're going to be on camera for the majority of the 2 days. You are going to take notes. Everyone get out your notebooks. Show me all your notebooks. You're going to take notes. The reason I'm having you write notes is because you are searing information into your brain that one day you're going to recall, and you might, how do I even know that? Oh, because I took notes. You're going to drink a lot of water. You can't see my water bottle because of my screen. You're going to drink a lot of water over the next 2 days. Here's why. Your body is comprised mostly of water. When you start to feel sluggish, when you start to feel tired, it's not because you need coffee, although coffee is one of my main food groups, okay? It's because you're dehydrated. So I'm here to tell you that I'm going to have you guys drink a lot of water, okay? In the comments, if I see a side conversation, we're going to say bye-bye. You're here to listen to the speakers, okay? You're here to listen to our speakers. You're here because you have reached a certain level of success in the entertainment industry and you want more. If you want more, type I want more in the comments. The people that we are bringing on to speak to you this weekend have a proven track record of success. They have a proven track record of success. They are part of Emmy-nominated series. They have opened some of the biggest shows in the fashion world. They have created successful agencies. They represent some of the biggest names that you know. So here's my question for you. Do you want to learn from someone who has success or is looking for success? Has or looking? Type that in the comments. You want someone who has success or someone who is looking for success? Exactly. So this is what I'm going to ask you guys to do. Because I already told you, I've given you an A, because I've already told you that I expect you to be successful, that I can't not believe in people. I can't not believe in people. So I want you all to believe in yourselves enough to be fully focused on the speakers. That's why we have them highlighted. And if any of you, are any of you like me? Do you get distracted by bright, shiny objects? Oh, look, a squirrel. Oh, look. Does anyone? Is it just, no? Okay. So this is what I'm going to get. I'm going to give you guys a tip that I normally don't give. If you go to view in the upper right-hand corner of your Zoom, you can put it on speaker. Then you don't have to worry about the person who's eating a snack or the person who's walking around grocery shopping or whatever. Put it on speaker. So now all you see is the speaker. Okay. And the comments, you can turn off the chat if you don't want to see the chat. If you're like me, like, oh, wait, hold on. What did they say? If you're nosy, turn off the chat. Okay. Just turn it on when I ask you to comment, then turn it back off. Okay. Because I want you to be fully engaged. Because I want you to be successful. Have I said that enough? Do you guys understand? What is my goal for you guys this weekend? To be successful. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by sharing some stories of people that we've helped here at VIP Ignite. Okay. All right, here we go. To make sure the right presentation's up. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Let's see. There we go. Okay. I'm going to share my screen with you. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Someone, thank you. Okay. So here I have good news for you. The entertainment industry has changed. You know what that means? How many of you got on a plane to fly to this Zoom call today? No, none of you, right? You all are from the comfort of your own home. All of our success here at VIP Ignite all starts on a Zoom call. Type in the comments, starts on Zoom. Okay. So let me talk. You know what I need to do? I need to update my slideshow because Brandon, who I'm about to tell you about, actually walked New York Fashion Week and some major shows this week. And I don't even have the screenshots up here. Bad, Denise. Share success better. So this is Brandon Hunter. So when we first met him, he was a student in Montana. He was playing football and he knew he wanted to get into acting, but he was going to school and then he wanted to get his MBA. So he kind of took his career a little bit slowly. These two photos here on the left are from his first photo shoot with us in Las Vegas in 2020. And these photos on the right show how it's going. So when he was at our photo shoot in Las Vegas, he met his agent and everything changed. It all started on a Zoom call. I interviewed him and I'll never forget what stood out for me about Brandon was this. The day that we did the night before when we did that open call, we had them write a list of 10 reasons they wanted to work with us and 10 reasons why we should work with them. And he was literally my first interview. And I remember I went out to Wawa and I got like a 20-ounce coffee or a 24-ounce coffee. I was like, this is how much coffee I need today. And we made a joke about it. But I went through the interview and I loved him. There was just something about him, not only his look, but he's genuinely a good human being. And he was like, Denise, hold on. I was like, what? You're accepted. Like what? He's like, don't you want to know my homework? And I was like, oh, wow, this guy can follow directions. I like him. That's why he's successful, because he knows how to follow directions. Okay. This is Masharad. He's another one of our success stories. So when we first met Masharad, he was going to school for theater in San Francisco. And all he wanted to do was acting. Like that's what he wanted to do, period. Point blank. He wanted to be an actor. But he came out to an event in LA, met an agent. He came out to another event. He likes to quip with me. He's like, oh, Denise, I did that by accident. I said yes, and I didn't even know what I was saying yes to. When he said yes, he met someone who radically transformed his life. He met a coach that turned him from a shy boy into an outgoing, confident man. How many of you know that your next step to success will come after you say yes? If you understand that, type yes in the comments. Type yes in the comments. Here are Brandon and Masharad. This was at the fall New York Fashion Week this fall. They had the opportunity to meet Isaac Mizrahi. They had the opportunity to meet one of the biggest producers in New York City. And this is a picture of the casting call. Pretty cool, right? How many of you would love to say, you know what? I was on a Zoom call in February. And then in September, I was at Fashion Week. If that sounds pretty cool, type a 1 or 1 in the comments. This here is Natasha Kraus. She's one of our Inner Circle members, just like actually Masharad is also one of our Inner Circle members. This is Natasha Kraus. At the time that these photos were taken, she's 14 years old. When she came on one of our Zoom calls, Alicia had the opportunity to meet her and her mom, and she was already signed by a major agent in LA. And Alicia was like, okay, well, she's already signed by like one of the biggest agencies. Like, why do you need my help? Her mom said, you know what, Alicia? I know my daughter has talent. And you know what it's going to take for her to be even more successful? To meet more people. Alicia's like, Absolutely. Everyone who interacts with Natasha tells us how amazing she is, that she's a natural. And I'm not saying this to impress you, but I want you to understand that in the entertainment industry, the more people you know, the more success you're going to have. Natasha has since left her other agent and signed to a new agent who you're going to meet tomorrow, actually. It wasn't because she's cute, what she is. It wasn't because she's a natural. It's because she and her mom put in the work. They put in the effort. And Natasha actually booked a voiceover job for a national insurance company. Pretty cool, right? 14 years old. How many of you want that level of success? Type me in the comments. This is Audie, another one of our inner circle members. Audie, when we first met her, she had just finished time at a conservatory in New York City for acting. And she didn't complete the whole conservatory, it was just a lot for her to be there. She and her mom got on a call with Alicia, and Alicia was like, listen, like, what are you doing? Like, you have a great look. Like, what are you doing? So they were like, okay, you know what? We're all in. We want to become a part of VIP Ignite. And obviously Alicia said yes, she's part of our inner circle. This was from her first photo shoot in Miami. She now has agents all over the world who want to work with her because she said yes to an opportunity. Not only did she say yes to an opportunity, she consistently shows up. She consistently shows up. All right. And last but not least, this is Mireya. She's another person that I actually interviewed. She went through Alicia's open call. I interviewed her and she's like, Deneen, I'm going to try this out. I was like, oh, you want to try it out? That sounds cute. Let's do it. Okay. And she only wanted to be a model. She had zero desire to do anything besides modeling. She's like, Deneen, I only want to be a model. I was like, okay. If we're doing a choose your own adventure, that's a great adventure to choose. So we got her signed. We signed her. She got on a call with an agent. Okay. And the agent reached out to her on a Zoom call, just like this. But she had to put in some work first. When she first came, her lighting was terrible. She wouldn't be all in the screen. We could barely see her. And when she first started, she only got on calls about modeling, right? But let me tell you something. She started to see the value in learning other things. She started getting on the calls for acting. All of a sudden, she had good lighting. She framed herself well in the camera. She got on a call just like this. Agent reached out to her. And she was like, hey, what do I do? I'm like, go to the meeting, set the meeting. And then he wanted to sign her. And she's like, Deneen, what do I do? I got a contract. I'm like, sign the contract. Just sign the contract and sign the contract. And she did. When she first started working with us, she was making $35,000 a year as a church secretary. Since then, she's booked for Verizon, for Apple, for Starbucks, for Torrid. She had a Yoplait ad that was international. This is just a few of the things she's done. Her agent now won't book her out for less than $35,000 a day. How many of you can say that is life-changing? How many of your lives would be changed if you could now make in one day what you used to make in a year? If that sounds like you, type a 1 or 1 in the comments. That's the success that we create here at VIP Ignite. That's what we do. We create success. We give you the opportunity. We put you in front of the right people. It's your job to show up. How many of you are willing to show up for yourselves this weekend? Type a 1 or 1 in the comments. And how many of you are willing to stick it out the whole weekend? How many of you know that everything you want is on the other side of an opportunity? Everything you want is on the other side of you taking this seriously. So I had the opportunity this week, to have dinner with someone who literally climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. How many of you have ever heard oh wait, hold on. Better question. How many of you have ever had a desire to climb a mountain? I know I have. When I was younger, my best friends and I, we used to say, we're Mount Everest women. It's going to take someone really tough to ever get to know us, right? So on Tuesday night, I was at a conference in Tampa, and I had the opportunity to sit next to someone that I've been wanting to meet for a couple of months. And he is a knight. He's been knighted, and he is so cool. And he sat down, he was telling us about training to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions, okay? when you climb a mountain, there are certain things that you have to do. Okay. You have to, how many of you think that you can, no matter that you can just show up and climb a mountain? Or how many of you think there might be some training, some things, some other things involved, right? Yeah. If you think that there's other stuff involved, just give me a thumbs up. Just give me a physical thumbs up. Okay. Yeah. Obviously. Right. So he was telling us the last time he's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro multiple times. Pretty crazy, right? So he was telling us about the last time that he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. And he was like, there are certain things that you do before you even start climbing the mountain, right? And he said the first thing is like when you work with a guide, there are two different types of guides. There are guides that actually people pay to take them up the mountain who like live in other locations and they come to the mountain and then they'll take you up. But then there are the guides that actually live on the mountain and they climb up and down all the time. So they know the mountain inside and out. So let me ask you a question. If you were going to climb one of the tallest mountains in the world, 19,000 feet in the air, would you want to climb the mountain with someone who lives on the mountain, who eats, breathes, and drinks the mountain, who knows the mountain? Or would you want to be led up the mountain by someone who visits every once in a while? So do you want resident or visitor? Which one? Type it in the comments. Yeah, you want the person who lives on the mountain, right? So he was telling us the story and it totally reminded me of so many actors and models that I meet. So on his last climb, there were 20 people who were climbing the mountain with him. Okay. And some of them were professional athletes. And they were like, I'm a natural. This is going to be so easy for me. I got this. Okay. And those athletes, they didn't train because they didn't think they needed to. So they were like, yeah, I got this. Okay. And then there was another group of people too. So before you go, they give you a list of everything that you need. And there was one thing that they were very specific on. They said, you have to bring a yellow water bottle. Type yellow in the comments. You have to bring a yellow water bottle. Okay. And sometimes you just have to trust the process. So 18 people brought a regular water bottle and a yellow water bottle. Okay. 2 people were like, I hate the color yellow. I'm not bringing a yellow water bottle. No, I hate yellow. It's a terrible color. I'm not bringing a yellow water bottle. So they brought other color water bottles. So on the first day, they're at the base of the mountain and the guide said, okay, everyone show me your yellow water bottles. And 18 people held up their yellow water bottles and 2 people held up their randomly colored water bottles. And they're like, okay, well, what do we need the yellow water bottle for? They were like, well, when we're climbing the mountain, it's not like we're going to have a bathroom. So if you need to urinate, we're going to have you urinate in the yellow water bottle. And if you don't, then, okay. So through the whole climb to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, there were 18 people who knew what they were drinking. And there were 2 people that were guessing because they couldn't follow basic directions in bringing a yellow water bottle. Okay, so Crystal, I love your comment. Why not just pee in the snow? Because at the top of the mountain, first of all, there's no oxygen. You're barely able to move. Like if you want to pick up a piece of paper, there is so little oxygen that you barely have the energy to even lift up your arms, to even lift up this piece of paper that I'm holding. Second thing is that it's like negative, I forget, it's like negative 100 degrees, something crazy. Like it's so cold that even if you tried to pee in the snow, not to be crass, it would probably freeze on you. Okay. So there's a whole lot of reason. Yeah, you've been that high, right? Do you want to be peeing in the freezing? No, you don't. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here is over the course of this weekend, we're going to give you different things to do. And you may think, oh, I don't need to do that. But let me ask you a question. If you were climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, do you think it might be valuable to have a yellow water bottle so you know what you're drinking? Like, think about that. So when he told us that story, he was like so animated, and I, in my head, can I be really honest? I was thinking, yellow isn't my favorite color, but I was like, you know what? I trust the process, and that's something I do. I always trust the process. Okay, so over the course of this weekend, you're gonna have the opportunity to hear from people that live on Mount Kilimanjaro, aka the entertainment industry. They are currently working in the industry. They are people who have had success in the industry. So I'm going to ask you a question right now. How many of you are ready to learn and grow with people who are living, eating, breathing, and drinking the entertainment industry? If you're excited about that, type a 1 or 1 in the comments. Type a 1 or 1 in the comments. All right. So what we're going to do right now, without further ado, is I'm going to introduce our first speaker to you. Before I do, I want you in the comments again to write this. I am successful. Type I am successful in the comments. I'm setting you up for success. When I ask you to write stuff in the comments, do it, because what you're doing is you're telling yourself the truth. You may have been told a whole lot of lies your whole life. I'm having you tell yourself the truth. All right, so let me introduce our first speaker. Okay, so Michael Famkin is a visionary entrepreneur and investor who has founded and funded companies across entertainment, technology, and social impact sectors. As a Broadway investor and producer, he has been honored with over 38 awards, including 6 Tony Awards. In 2013, he achieved the rare feat of winning the Tony Award for Best Play. Beyond Broadway, Michael is the founder of Truth Management, one of the fastest growing talent management firms in the US. Through Truth Management, Michael has empowered models, actors, and musicians to unlock their potential and connect with top influencers in the entertainment industry. His firm has catapulted talent into major TV shows, film, and fashion shows domestically and worldwide. An innovator at heart, Michael has over a decade of experience pioneering new techniques in online marketing and brand building. He is regarded as an expert in leveraging digital platforms to build influence. In addition to his entertainment and business ventures, Michael has dedicated himself to social impact programs through Operation Underground Railroad. Through strategic partnerships, his initiatives have helped rescue over 3,500 children from sex trafficking globally. Michael Famkin's unique synthesis of entrepreneurship, entertainment, marketing, and philanthropy make him a one-of-a-kind business leader. His ventures span industries, yet are united by his core vision of empowering people and ideas. How many of you want to learn a blueprint of success from someone who has had that much success in the entertainment industry? Okay. I need you guys to show a little enthusiasm for your own success. If you guys are ready to learn the 7 path to success as an actor or model from the one and only Mr. Michael Famkin, let me see your enthusiasm. Ready, set, go! Awesome. All right, everyone give it up for Michael Famkin.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, let me share my screen. Hold on here. Okay, and everyone should be able to share my screen shortly.
Yep, we can see it.
There we go. Okay, good. All right, so this is going to be a really great weekend. A lot of really incredible speakers that we have, some really high profile people. So make sure you really stay in tune. The flow of the event is designed to kind of build up on one presentation above another. So you guys are going to learn a lot about acting, a lot about modeling, about the industry, about life, and so forth. So especially our next speaker who's coming up right after me. I'm really excited for you guys to meet him. You guys are going to be in for a real treat. We actually gave him a little bit of an extended time, which those of you who've been on our boot camps for the past 3-4 years know we're very consistent with kind of keeping it short. But I want you guys to really get to learn a lot. So you guys are going to be in for a real treat. So, all right. So this is the 7-step path to success as a model, actor, or musician. And this is kind of like, this is like a guide just on whether you're, obviously I'm gearing this towards the modeling and the TV, fashion, film industry, music industry, but these are going to be steps that can really be applied to life, right? As at the end of the day, it's like the story that you tell yourself is really where you lead your life. And I just got back from an event this past week. I got to spend some time with somebody who's actually running for president of the United States. And we just, we really spoke a lot about life in general and the steps that lead to success. So kind of based upon some of those conversations, based upon some of the conversations of some of the people I had in the room, I kind of took some of the things that I've learned through life and applied it. So I just wanted to thank you guys and show my, my great gratitude and blessings for allowing me to be able to share this with you guys today. And hopefully, you can apply it to your life and kind of, start seeing things a little bit differently. I think in today's world, we're so tied into social media and we kind of get into these echo chambers where we don't really get to listen to other people's opinions and options. So this is kind of like a first step into having like a more critical thinking and being able to really evaluate your life and be able to live the best life that you want to live. So with that thought in mind, this is a 7-step path to success as a model, actor, or a musician. So step 1, you need to decide, what do you really want, right? Once you decide what it is that you really want, like being a model, being an actor, being a musician, being an entrepreneur, right? What is it that you really want? Once you know exactly what it is you want, right? You have that idea. This is the career path I want to go on. These are the changes I want to make. That's when you're able to kind of awaken your hunger, right? That desire. Like we do these boot camps. I just came back, I just spent the week at a conference. I spoke at the conference multiple times. I had, a lot of conversations and one-on-ones, but yet this was what I'm excited about, right? Being able to come here today to train. So that's what I'm hungry for, right? I get excited to be able to do this. You see the enthusiasm and, Dean's voice, wanting to share with you guys, wanting to train, wanting to elevate people's success. Once you know what it is that you want, or you at least have a very good idea, right? Then you need to start developing a vision, right? What is it that where do I want my life to be, right? Where do I want my life to be a year from now? What do I want my life to be, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You really need to create that, they take that vision, that purpose, and create a compelling future, right? It is so true when you say, hey, in 20 years from now, I want to have a beautiful home. I want to be able to travel around the world. I want to own a private jet. I want to have nice cars. I want to have financial abundance. I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to build schools. I want to be able to give back, right? There's nothing in the world preventing you from doing that other than the story that you tell yourself. So step 1 is, what do you really want? Develop a vision, come up with a purpose, right? And a purpose can be your family. It could be a charity. It could be a change that you want to make. And what's really great about life is purposes and ideas change. They're always evolving. As you reach one plateau, just like climbing the mountain, right? And then another checkpoint opens up, right? And decide to yourself, start questioning yourself, right? Ask yourself better questions. You're going to get better answers. What do you want and why do you want it, right? Reasons come first, answers come second, right? Figuring out how you're going to get what it is you want, that's easy. The answers will come. It's deciding exactly what you want. So that's step 1, having clarity, having a vision. Step 2 is, you need to find and face the truth, right? We all heard the saying, the truth will set you free, right? You need to be clear and honest about where you really are compared to where you really want to be. You need to be very specific. I've interviewed, I've been doing this now for close to 2 decades, a little over 18 years with Alicia, co-founder of VIP Ignite. And, I myself personally have, interacted, now I more interact with our inner circle talent and so forth, which is our highest level of success of talent that we work with, because it's kind of nice to be able to speak into somebody's listen and kind of going back and forth. But I've interviewed talent who are brand new, people who just started off in the industry, and I've interviewed and worked with people who are very successful, won Academy Awards and producers on Broadway, and and so many great people. And a lot of times when talent are brand new, they're really not honest about where they are, right? They're like, well, I know my vision is to be famous. Well, that's great, but what do you mean by famous? Like, I need more clarity, right? You really need to be very, very specific, right? So because from where you are, and Alicia always likes to use the example of a roadmap, right? For those of you who read Finding Fame, there's a lot of examples of a roadmap. Because when you have a map, you know where you're going. So you're going from point A to point B. And with a map, it gets you there, right? And along the way, you have mentors, you have people who help you and work with you and so forth to get you there, right? Whether you're an entrepreneur, an actor, a model, musician, there are people who you will work with. Eventually, your goal is to mentor others. So that distance between where you are and where you want to be is what's called the gap, right? So you need to get clear on what's gotten in the way in the past, right? Like you really need to sit down and think about it. So many times people, was it fear, right? Or is it a belief or a set of beliefs or a story, right? So many talent, I'll say, well, what is it that you want to do? Well, I want to be an actor. Okay, great. What do you feel is holding you back? So people will start telling me stories. Well, it's my age. Really, your age, I don't understand. Like their age doesn't matter in the industry. Look at TV, look at film. There are people from newborn babies to people who are 80 plus years old that are acting on TV, on magazines, and ads, right? Well, a Walmart ad certainly doesn't have a bunch of teenagers in it. Maybe one ad has teenagers and another ad has somebody's in the 50s. So a lot of times people start telling them these stories. Well, it's my location. Or they'll say, well, my husband's holding me back. My boyfriend's holding me back. They start having all these stories. So you really need to get clear. What is it that's been holding you back in the past? What is the story? And you write it down. Like literally, the reason why I'm not where I am is because of this. This is the story I tell myself. I can't do this because I live in the wrong location. I can't do this because I'm too old. I'm too young. Whatever the excuses, I don't have the right training. I don't know how to get started. You write those down and you become very clear on it. Or perhaps it's emotional, right? You've had a bad experience in the past, right? Or is it a habit, right? People tell themselves a story all the time. Every time I try, I always fail. I can't succeed. Words are so powerful. Like, Deneen mentioned that earlier. Like, if you consistently talk bad about yourself, your subconscious doesn't understand the difference between reality and imagination. It goes with whatever you tell it. If you consistently are berating yourself or are listening to the stories of people, like, well, everyone says, I just can't do this. Or maybe you had this bad experience in high school, your subconscious buried it, but it's still there. And you always feel like, a teacher gave you an F one time, you felt you deserved an A, and you're carrying this baggage around. You have to start changing your story. When you face up to what you feel is holding you back, that's when you can make corrections, right? It's like if you're, it's like smoking, right? Most people don't smoke anymore because they know smoking's really bad, right? Vaping's really bad. Excessive drinking is really bad. Once you face up to the reality, that's when you can make the fix it. Or perhaps it's something as simple as missing a skill set, right? By the end of the weekend today, you guys are going to learn a lot of different skill sets on acting and modeling, right? Then you start asking yourself, what was the old story? How did I identify? And that what you felt that kept you from succeeding? And then what do you need your new story to be, right? If your old story was, well, I was missing a set of skills. Great. Now all I need to do is find those skills. I need to learn. Maybe a great question is, what skills do I need? What training do I need? Understanding how the industry works. So many people come to us and they always say, well, I want an agent. Great. I always say to them, do you understand what is it an agent is looking for? And once you can become that person, that's when your life changes in ways you can't even possibly imagine. And you see that on every single one of our success stories over and over and over again. Once the missing components were added, agents just light up. And you'll hear that. We have agents that'll be here this weekend. So step one, what do you really want? Step two, find and face the truth. Okay. Step three, resolve and create a map, right? And for us, for example, today, a map is a massive action plan, right? So what are 2 or 3 things you can do right now to move forward in the direction of what you really want? A small action and a big action, right? How will you get the skill you need? How will you get yourself to embody the qualities necessary to achieve your vision? Right? If you kind of can close your eyes and see yourself, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, and Deneen will do an incredible exercise with you guys tomorrow to really solidify this and ingrain it into your body. But imagine if you close your eyes, who that person you want to be. What does it take to become that person, right? How will you get the skill you need? How will you get yourself to embody the qualities necessary to achieve your vision? Make a massive action plan, then highlight the top 20%, right? The top 20%. What are the 2 things? If you had a list of 10, What are the two things, right? And you just start writing. Don't overthink this, guys. Just start writing. Just, I need to get a mentor. I need to get a coach. Maybe I need a stylist. Maybe I need to get professional photos. Maybe I need to learn more about things. Whatever it is, you write that list and you say, okay, what are the two things I can focus on now that are going to get me the 80% of the results I'm after, right? Every business, every successful person, a movie, a television show, a corporation, a magazine, they all have a business plan, right? Every successful actor that you'll ever speak, if you're sitting down having a conversation with a Robert De Niro, an Al Pacino, a Julia Roberts, a Will Smith, they always have an action plan. They know exactly what their schedule's planned out. And this is what you need to do, right? Whether you've been doing this for years or you're just starting out, it's the same process, right? What are the steps that I need to take? So first step, what do you really want? Find and face the truth, and then resolve and create a map. Step 4, do what's hard, right? Some of you guys write on the map are like, oh God, Mike, that's hard. It's called slaying your dragons, right? Change what needs to be changed. Get the skills that are necessary. Take massive action. People who take massive action get massive results. If you continuously do what you're doing and you're not getting the results that you want, you're going to stay in the same place. If you look at it another way, people call that the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You need to transform to your new identity. You need to start saying to yourself, I am an actor. I am a model. I am a musician. You're on the path. Being here this weekend, you're on the path. And then maybe some of you guys by the end of the weekend will decide this isn't for you, right? So you need to transform your identity, your story, and that in turn helps transform your reality. Step 5, develop a daily practice, right? Small actions guarantee long-term success, right? Small daily actions guarantee long-term success. Look at every major sports star, right? It's the small actions. It's the small steps, the going to the gym, coordinating their exercise program, their diets, right? Small actions have big results. It's the little things that matter, right? What new habits or practice will continue to move you forward, right? For some of you guys know how to, create a character or do a monologue or are familiar with posing or understanding what it's like to work on set. There's so much knowledge on YouTube, right? When you ask about a question, there's so much knowledge. Knowledge is easy to come by, right? There's no excuse, right? What are the 10 steps a successful model does to get, on the cover of Vogue? And then you start breaking that down. Knowledge is not what you're looking for. What you're looking for, guys, is wisdom. You want to be able to surround yourself with people who've made the mistakes, overcome them. And this is something I realized, a few weeks ago. It's not about knowledge. It's about wisdom, and it's about proximity to people who can open up doors to other people who can help push you forward. When you surround yourself with successful people, your life will change in ways you can't ever possibly imagine. It's just getting into that room with that first person, getting into that room, that connection, and so forth. Over the course of the weekend, for those of you that are brand new, we're going to learn all the different opportunities we have for you guys. Okay, so develop a daily practice. What new habit or practice will continue to move you forward? What will you do to embody the character, trait, skill, and psychology of a person who will live your vision? Right, every single day. Like, imagine yourself, like, if you could picture yourself, it was 10 years from now, or 5, let's just say a year from now, and you're now signed with a major agency. Maybe you've come out to one of our events in Hollywood. You're working with the former art director of Vogue magazine. What would you be doing daily, right? What would change about your life, right? What would you be training on, right? What would you be doing? So a lot, and you're like, well, I don't know, Mike. I would just be on set doing magazines and filming movies. Okay, great. What are the steps that you need to know right now to make that happen every day? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, great. Then some of your daily actions need to be to figure out what those steps are. See? Where was that part? Oh, step 3, right? Create a massive action plan. What are the little steps that you can do? So those little steps become your daily practice. Every single person, every athlete, every actor, they're consistently rehearsing. There's no reason why you should not be rehearsing, learning character development, reading great plays, learning about screenplays, doing all these things, right? And most importantly, measure your state from 0 to 10. Make adjustments, right? If you're consistently, days are going by and you're busy with work and you're just not good with scheduling your time and you're like, Mike, I get home, I'm tired, I just don't have time to do this. Okay, how do I make more time? Wake up an hour early, go to bed an hour late. Well, guess what? That's like 14 hours a week. That's like 50 hours a month. That's 600 hours a year. Divide that by 40. I think it's 12 weeks. You wake up an hour early, go to bed an hour late. You just found 3 months extra of time. Time is your most valuable resource, guys, right? Money can be replaced. Time will never be replaced. Everyone has the same equal amount of time. So you have to maximize your time. You have to start realizing, what am I doing throughout the day where I can be applying myself? Okay. So step one, what do you really want? Activate and awaken your hunger. Step two, find and face the truth. The truth will set you free. Step three, resolve and create a map, a massive action plan. Step four, do what's hard. Slay your dragons, okay? There should be no one in your life who should ever hold you back from living your dreams. And step five, develop a daily practice. From there, raise your standards, right? Measure more often, become your true self. You know, so many people live in, you know, Alicia likes to call it Eeyore syndrome. And if you're familiar with Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore is always me, right? That you can become as great as you want. The moment you find yourself like, I just can't, and that's Eeyore syndrome, right? Remember, you get what you tolerate in yourself first and then in others, okay? Never let anyone else hold you back. If you're letting other people holding you back, that means you're holding yourself back. So that what that means is you cannot tolerate in yourself not doing what it is you want. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about you. You allowed that to happen, and you allowed that to tolerate that in yourself, right? You change your story, you change your life, and you can't manage what you don't measure. So you have to measure results. And at the very beginning, part of slaying the dragons is you may not see fast results. But I can guarantee you this. What you're learning today, if you measured this and you said, well, wow, at 10:45, I jumped on this call this weekend. I didn't really know a lot about the industry. I can guarantee you by tomorrow, 4:45 p.m., you're going to see some results. You're going to see a difference in understanding. You need to celebrate that. So it doesn't matter how big or how small success is or movement, right? Even the smallest movement on the dial forward moves you ahead. That's okay. Right? Don't expect huge jumps at the beginning. It's just like going to the gym for the first time. If you haven't been to the gym in years, you're not going to be able to hit the same marks that you hit when you were consistently going to the gym. But you need to raise your standard. You need to say, this is what I want. I'm not going to tolerate this in my life. This is what I want. And do not allow anyone ever to hold you back. And then step 7, life is a gift, right? We kind of just touched upon this. Celebrate, appreciate, give back. You only build on success, right? Success loves speed. Success loves company. Learn from each stage, but be sure to celebrate the victories as you achieve them, right? And then the process starts again. What do you want at the next level? You've reached this level now. You're working in community theater. Maybe in a repertoire, you're traveling around the country as an actor. Maybe now you've mastered a monologue. What's next? Right? Even the smallest victories, celebrate that. So just to review one more time, okay? Step 1, right? What do you really want? Activate and awaken your hunger. Step 2, find and face the truth. The truth will set you free, right? Create a map, a massive action plan. Do what's hard, slay your dragons. Develop a daily practice, right? Okay. Step 6, raise your standard. There's no reason you cannot be as successful as you. There's nothing that's holding you back. Nothing. Okay. You know, we spoke about climbing mountains. One of my friends, Nick was born with no arms, no legs. He's climbed Mount Everest. Okay. He has a stub. He has a little stub for one little finger, right? You guys can look him up. He's climbed Mount Everest. He's engaged to a Playboy playmate. Right? Think about this. There's no excuse. There's a person who's blind who climbed the mountain. Okay. His guide had a bell. He would listen for the bell and follow along with the bell to reach the top of the summit. Look at all that you have. You guys have access to water, to food, to a bed to sleep at. You're on the internet. You have a cell phone. Like, you have more right now being on this call than 98% of the world has access to. Right? Celebrate that. That's a gift just being here today. Having the opportunity over the next 2 days, you guys are going to meet some incredible speakers. One of our speakers tomorrow, okay, good friend of mine, okay, when he's working at a corporation or he's speaking from stage, from Google, from IBM, from Microsoft, His speaking from stage fee is $100,000. Tomorrow, he's going to be speaking to you guys for an hour. He's going to be doing a keynote training with you. That's literally a corporation would pay him $100,000 to do that. That's his gift for being a friend of mine. Said, hey, I got a great group of talent. These are people who are reaching levels of success. They're doing things. They're go-getters. Would you mind coming and sharing that message with them? Right? And what is he doing? He's reached that level of success where he's able to give back. He's able to do things like that, right? To be able to celebrate and so forth. And it's the same thing I want you guys to do. Like, having financial abundance means you can do so much more. Tomorrow we're going to go over an opportunity for you guys to be able to work with us at the higher level, not only being able to work in modeling and acting, but being able to create a voice and a platform that can change the world. So guys, with that thought in mind, my name is Michael Fompkin, and I hope you guys learned something from this. And this was the 7-step path to success, whether you're a model, actor, or musician, or just applying to your life in general. And I want to turn this back over to Miss Deneen. And we got a full day ahead, but I just wanted to start the day on the right foot today and give you guys something to aspire to. And I will be back later today. All right, guys. Bye.
I love that so much.
Thank you, guys.
That was absolutely amazing. This is what I want you guys to think about. Okay. How many of you, okay, is it okay if I share a personal story with you guys? I mean, it is, since I'm the host of the event, right? That's the control I have. Just kidding. So I want to share a story with you. Hold on, let me figure out my whole pin situation here. So are any of you kind of like me where and this is, I don't know when I developed this habit, but I did. How many of you, when you're out eating, you always save the thing that you don't want for last? Has anyone ever been in that situation? No. A couple years ago, well, many moons ago, I was at a women's conference, and the pastor who was leading the conference told me something, and it's something that I've lived by for my whole life. And when she was like literally walking around saying it, do the hard things first, do the hard things first, do the hard things first. And I was like, but I don't like doing the hard things first. But let me tell you something, when I implemented that into my life, everything changed. Okay. So I want you guys to really start thinking about, like, out of all of those tips that Mike gave you, what is one thing that really stood out to you? Let me know in the comments. What's one thing that all those tips that really stood out to you? Like, let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, because again, if you want to be even more successful, you have to be taking notes. You have to be processing the information. I'm going to be asking you questions. Life is a gift, right? Life is a gift. How many of you realize that? How many of you realize that you're not guaranteed tomorrow? You have to live your life full out today. When we were at the conference this week, someone who was a beloved person decided to take his own life. And I'm not saying that to depress anyone. I'm saying that because life is precious. You get out of this life what you put into it. You only die once, but you live every day. What are you doing today to live that life that you've always dreamed of? What are you doing? You're here. If anyone's like, oh, I don't know, what am I doing? You're here. Type, I'm here. People who take massive action get massive results. Everything you want is on the other side of you deciding to take action. You deciding to write down a plan. You deciding to write down your goals. You deciding to talk nice to yourself. How many of you have that struggle? I know I do. I'm like, oh my God, I wonder, like, what am I even doing? Why am I even doing this? We all have those struggles. If you struggle in any area of your life, I want you to give yourself a hand clap. You know why? You're alive. You're human. You can overcome anything that you put your mind to. The story Mike told you, Nick, he climbed to the top of the mountain, literally. And Michael's being kind. He does have a stub, but it's actually his middle finger, okay? So he's done amazing things. He's one of the highest paid speakers in the world. This is what I want you to think about. Okay, so I'm going to tell you another story. Okay, we're going to talk about overcoming today. So the same man that told us about climbing to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, he also is friends with a man who was born with no arms. Okay, so he has 2 legs, but he has no arms. So they went on a trip together, and they went to Avis rental car, and they were like, oh, and the people at the rental car counter said, oh, obviously, sir, you're the one renting the car. And the guy with no arms like, nope, it's me. I'm the one renting the car. And Sir Darren looked at him and was like, dude, how are you don't have arms. How are you driving? He's like, I'm a good, get in the car. You get in the passenger seat. He put his feet up. He figured out how to drive with 2 feet and no arms. Okay. Then he proceeded to take them to the drive-through. And the person, he pulls up with no arms, and he's like, yeah, and he placed the order. And the drive-through people looked at it at the car, and they were like, obviously we're giving it to the guy with arms. He's like, no. And the point I'm trying to make is that there is nothing you can face that is not overcomable. It's not that you lack resources, it's that you lack resourcefulness. How many of you are willing to be resourceful? Because you know what? There are certain days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't take one more thing. I'm throwing the towel. But you know what? That's human. That's being human. We're all human. But I'm here to tell you that everything you want is on the other side of you taking massive action. You being here, for some of you, this is massive action. Write that in the comments. People who take massive action get massive results. People who take massive action get massive results. I'm going to say one more thing to you, and then Alicia's going to come on and I'm actually going to introduce Alicia after I say this, because I quote it one way and then she quotes it another way. How many of you realize that you get rewarded in public for what you do in private? You get rewarded in public for what you do in private. So this is what I want you to think about. I want you to think about, what are you being rewarded for right now? If you're not getting a lot of rewards, what are you doing when the doors are closed, when no one sees you? What are you doing? What can you do more of so that you get more rewards? The way Alicia likes to say it is that you get rewarded in public for kicking butt in private. So if you're not getting a lot of rewards, if you're not seeing a lot of success, my question for you is, what are you willing to do to up level that? What action are you willing to take to start getting more results? Because everything you want is on the other side of action. People who take massive action get massive results. All right, our next speaker will be on in just a couple of minutes. But first, is it okay if I introduce you to the co-founder of VIP Ignite? Is that okay with you guys? I want to see a lot more. Okay, there we go. All right, so allow me to introduce the co-founder of VIP Ignite, who is drinking her favorite food group, coffee. Alicia Quayback is the co-founder of VIP. Tea. Just kidding. I stand corrected. See?
I've already had 4 shots of espresso. Now we're on to tea. But
okay, good.
Go on.
All right. Well, let me introduce Alicia to you guys. So she is the co-founder of VIP Ignite, which allows talent to network and connect with high-level industry professionals in modeling, acting, and music. She has launched multiple 7-figure businesses. She has executive produced 5 Broadway shows that have won 38 awards, including 6 Tony Awards. She had a successful radio show on CBS Digital. She opened NASDAQ with the cast of her Broadway show, Dinner with the Boys, starring Dan Lauria from the Wonder Years. She is a Guinness Book of World Record holder. She is the co-author of the best-selling book, Finding Fame. She emceed the Israel Film Festival in New York City with the Prime Minister of Israel in the audience. She has been featured in Forbes, Huffington Post, and Entrepreneur. She has shared the stage with such greats such as Les Brown, Bill Walsh, Greg Reed, Russell Brunson, Lee Steinberg, Brandon Steiner. She has a new book coming out that is co-authored by the one and only original shark, Kevin Harrington. Her first movie, Target, is currently streaming on Netflix and Fox and Apple TV. She is a Fox News music expert. She currently manages Francis Ford Coppola's protege, and she has helped over 10,000 talents successfully get signed and book work through VIP Ignite. How many of you want to add to that number? If you do, type a 1 or 1 in the comments. Everyone give it up for the one and only Alicia Kabak.
One thing I have to add on there is I'm also Caden's mommy.
Oh,
I do
she's
all
also
this for the
Caden's mom.
kids.
I'll add that.
That's funny and Deneen right there. Hi guys, good morning to you. How are you?
We're awesome.
Hi,
How
hi,
are
hi.
you?
I'm doing well. My throat's a little bit itchy. I know there's snow going on up north. It's funny because I keep getting the New York City weather updates and I'm like, oh, I'm in Florida. It's actually cold here today. Okay, good morning to everybody.
My computer sets in New York. It says it's 32 and snowing. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like,
what-
no, not
what's
today.
raining?
Thank you though. No. It's funny because you were saying that you get rewarded in public for kicking butt in private. I would use kicking ass in private. Good morning to everyone. But it's true. I think a lot of people, Patrick Mahomes is such a great story. And you and I and Mike, we know Patrick Mahomes, sports agent. The movie Jerry Maguire was based on our friend Lee Steinberg. And last year we had the privilege and honor of going to the Super Bowl party with him. And I know Christine Harding is here. And, it's just when you're around winners, you just don't want the losers anywhere near you.
Yeah.
And, I was thinking about it today because we were talking about putting Caden in, because he's 3 and he has so much energy. And I'm like, football, soccer, what can we do with this kid? And Jeffrey and I just last night, we were talking about, what are the odds of Caden ever getting drafted to the NFL? And I was doing some, just whoa, just thinking about like just even getting, in the NFL is one thing, but then being on a winning team in the Super Bowl, MVP, Patrick Mahomes. So people get rewarded in public for kicking butt in private. I think, Deneen, a lot of people want the Super Bowl ring without putting in the work.
Mhm.
And we see this quite often when people are trying to get into show business as well. They all want that red carpet experience. But next time you guys watch a red carpet experience anywhere, like on E! News or the Grammys, think about the struggles, what they actually had to endure to get to that point. And sometimes it's just saying yes with yourself. So every single person on here right now, I know it's 11:59 East Coast time on February 17th, but you're here because this is the first step of your journey. Now, some of you have